Bob, yesterday you were talking about hoping that Samardzija would save the chewed-up bullpen. I don't know if you saw this from Mike Selleck. He tweeted that Samardzija is the first A's pitcher to go 7 or more in his first 4 starts since World War II. So your impressions on him?
That's an impressive stat. Who came up with that?
Mike Selleck.
There you have it. He knew it going out there today too. I mean, I think he takes pride in that type of thing and didn't really argue too much about the ninth. I think it was probably a little bit closer. He would have wanted to go out there for the ninth and completely save the bullpen, but knew what was expected of him, gave him exactly that. At times, you have to keep your pitch counts down and be a little bit more economical. Some balls in play earlier, and he did exactly that. And then, the floodgates opened a little bit with Moss's home run because it was a little frustrating. We had a lot of runners on base. And, you're still 4-1 at that time, but certainly the Moss home run was the one that broke it open.
What impresses you most about him? He's purely a power pitcher. I mean, the last pitch in the 8th inning was 96 miles an hour.
Right, and he can do some different things with his fastball. The split is his best secondary pitch. Throws some sliders every now and then, but really it's the movement and the velocity of his fastball that does the body of work for him. Sink one, cut one a little bit. It's got a rider and a four-seamer that he saves, typically for 2 strikes. So he knows what he's doing.
Not sure when the last time Samardzija's offense put up 13 runs. How happy did he look in the dugout? Were there any notable interactions going on there?
No, not with me, maybe some other guys, but it crossed my mind that when's the last time he's probably had a lead like this. But, it's kind of part of his tenacity, too, that he goes out there and takes nothing for granted. He's as comfortable probably pitching in 2 or 3 to 1 game as he is with some runs, but it probably crossed my mind, too.
What do you think of the offensive approach today? Obviously, Moss had the home run, but it seemed like guys were very patient against Feldman.
Yeah, very much so. Made him throw a lot of pitches. We had base runners out there all the time, which puts a little bit more pressure on the starting pitcher. It took us for a while to cash in on a lot of them, but if you continue to put guys on base that you're going to come through. But the approach was real good, laying off some cutters, some curveballs in the dirt, running it up there and trying to get a good pitch to hit. But, when we're going about our game and we're doing well, that's kind of the approach that we have.
Another productive game from Josh Reddick off the DL. Also made a nice play defensively. Yeah. You've seen the knee injuries really in the past. Yeah,
I think at this point now he's not even thinking about it. You get a couple games under your belt, you move around in the outfield, you run the bases some, you swing the bat well. So there comes a point where you've done enough out there to where you're not thinking about it at all, and it seems like that's the case.
This third Grand Slam for Moss this year. I mean, it seems like he has a knack. He's developed a knack for that.
Yeah. 12 RBIs and 3 at-bats. That's not fair. I mean, a lot of guys have to work to get 12 in a month, and he's got them in 3 at-bats, and his numbers would suggest that. But, for a patient guy that, with bases loaded, pitcher's really got nowhere to go. So he's sitting on a particular pitch and, trying to put a good swing on it, and he did again.
Bob, with the virtual swap of Johnson for Scribner, it's not that you didn't trust Johnson, but are you using Scribner probably in more situations than you would have with Johnson, the way he was going?
You always need somebody that's going to give you some length. We're still kind of spoon-feeding O'Flaherty a little bit as far as his outings. So you do need a true long man at times, and that's probably his role at this point. Cookie's doing a nice job with what he's doing. Otero's, gotten a lot of work, and Gregerson deep in games from the right side. So we do need a guy that can give us 2 or 3 innings. And Scribner's been shown that he can, he's a very versatile guy and can do, acclimate to whatever role we need him in.